Mommy was back, and things became interesting for Women's World Champion Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio, and the rest of the Judgment Day tonight on Raw. Rhea Ripley's return kicked off the show, addressing everything that has happened since she was put on the sidelines by Liv Morgan the night after WrestleMania. What went down? What did the former Women's World Champ have to say when she took center stage on USA Network? Find out now with this recap of a show that continued the road to SummerSlam and featured the latest face-to-face showdown between World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest and Gunther. Hey there, welcome everybody to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and Streaming.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF, Michael Fletcher. We are maybe awaiting the presence of the Phenom Michael Bullock. If he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed. If not, then we'll hopefully have him back with us Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Madness. Monday Night Raw live tonight from the Wright University Nutter Center in Dayton, Ohio, on the USA Network as we continue the road to SummerSlam. And, of course, as promised, Rhea Ripley kicked off the night's show by making her way to the ring amid an enormous pop and almost immediately found herself interrupted by Dominic Mysterio. And then Liv Morgan appeared on the Tron. And doing her best to taunt Rhea Ripley, all Liv Morgan did was further infuriate Rhea, leading to Rhea Ripley issuing the challenge for a match, Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship at SummerSlam. Morgan surprisingly accepted, admitting she wasn't going to run. The segment ended with Ripley vowing to end Morgan's career before thwarting any attempt by Dominic to smooth things over. This was a great start to the show that highlighted the top storyline on Raw, put Rhea Ripley front and center, and continued to build tension between Mommy and Dom Dom as questions about their relationship ran wild. Michael Cole revealed on commentary that Ripley's return last week garnered 50 million views across social media. Dominic, looking like a young Eddie Guerrero, paid homage to one of his idols by calling Ripley Mamacita. On the same night, the former women's champion wore a China-inspired top. And Morgan said, "Mommy may be home, but Liv is finally on top." Excellent way to start the show. And it sets up another main event caliber match for the SummerSlam. Liv Morgan defending the Women's World Championship against Rhea Ripley. Wow. Excellent, excellent way to start it off. So not much more for me to add. Good old MF Michael Fletcher, come on in. It's been well documented over these last several weeks. This has hands down been your favorite angle storyline on Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
And oh boy, did we take a big step forward tonight. Morgan Ripley Women's World Championship in the dog pound at SummerSlam.
Yeah, and the thing is that it was exactly what it needed it to be. Started out with a very strong segment, to say the very least, when it came out to Rhea Ripley, and again, WWE production comes out swinging the beautiful way, having Ripley come down the way, with just that one shot angle that they don't have to do multiple shots like when Buck Two Beaver Kevin Dunn was running WWE, how you could see it's all one shot, one fluidity moment that you just have the cameraman and Rhea walking into Gorilla, out of Gorilla, out to that crowd, and then you had her do that one shot, and then you had another camera following her all the way to the ring. It was expertly done, brilliantly done to start. Obviously, the promo was very strong, very good until Dominic came out. Then Dom, trying to plead his case, booed out of the building. We already know how that was going because, with everything going on, Dom was already in the doghouse. And then it went even further because she was looking for Liv. She didn't get Liv. Liv shows up, but via Titantron saying that she was in Mexico City because of the WWE tour that went down. Trust me, if you didn't know what it went down in Mexico this weekend, look at the photos, look at social media. It was blowing up in Mexico City. The first night they were in Mexico City, in literally the arena where Triple A does Triple Mania. So that's a huge deal for WWE to do it literally in Triple A's own backyard. That's their arena. That is the arena that they do. It's called the CDMX. That is their official arena where they do Triple Mania for AAA. That's their arena. That's the event every year. Just like how Tokyo Dome, New Japan, and January 4 is like tradition, this is tradition in AAA. That every year they have one event, the biggest event of the year, Triple Mania, and this will always be in that arena, and WWE took over. WWE literally took that arena over on Saturday night and literally had a very good thing. And then the next night they went to Monterrey. I think they went to an arena in Monterrey. Obviously not an arena that AAA does. Normally they always like to do a baseball stadium for the Monterrey show, but that's besides the point. She was saying, look, I'm not going to be there. Then twist the knife a little more. It got me all excited because of her little rendezvous with Dom Dom. And I'm like, oh, yeah. So trust me, as a commentator, as the heel commentator during that segment, I was trying to control my excitement, but it was very hard for me to do. And Florio at one point had to say, will you stop? Because I jokingly, I was annoying the daylights out of him.
Oh yeah.
But it was a really good segment. Nothing more to say. Anthony, just give me a minute. I'll be right back. Okay.
All right. Yep. Funny commentary moment indeed, and excellent way to start it off. You couldn't have started it off any better. So while we wait for MF to come on back in, we do have our first match of the night, a Be a Man fight here, as it was Sheamus squaring off against Big Bronson Reed, and Sheamus wins the match in 8 minutes and 35 seconds. And we will wait for MF to rejoin us here. So, but getting back to the other segment there, huge, another huge match set for SummerSlam, one that we've been clamoring for ever since this whole thing started, and I'm so glad that Rhea's been cleared in time for SummerSlam, and that we're getting this match in the Dog Pound at Cleveland Browns Stadium. I mean, man alive, is that going to be something? I mean, we're talking 50 to 60,000 here. There's no doubt about that. But a match of that magnitude, that is definitely a SummerSlam worthy match, and one we have been waiting a long time for. And we all can't, when we're all here for it. We cannot wait to see how that goes down. Sheamus versus Big Bronson Reed. Sheamus wins the match in 8 minutes and 35 seconds. I'll start it off, and then we'll wait for MF to make his return here. 2.5 to 2 3/4 of a star for this match. Hard-hitting physical war between the Celtic Warrior and the Aussie. It didn't end there, though. After the match, Pete Dunne launched himself from out of nowhere to thwart a Bronson Reed sneak attack, and following a brief, tense encounter with his former Brawling Brutes teammate, the Bruiserweight attacked Sheamus from behind. And then Reed took advantage, dropped Sheamus with a tsunami, and stood tall to close it out. The match was strong, as should be expected from Sheamus and Reed at this point, and there is considerable intrigue in the story the former and Dunne are telling right now. Second consecutive strong segment here. Sheamus debuted a new entrance song, an odd choice given the fan enthusiasm for the return of Written in My Face. And will Bronson Reed ever win one of these matches against top-level talent? It feels like we have seen this story play out way too often with no upward momentum to speak of for the big man. And then backstage, Rhea Ripley thanked Damian Priest for holding things down with Judgment Day in her absence. And when Dominic asked for a moment, caught another tongue lashing from Mommy. So that's all we can say on that. So Sheamus and Bronson Reed, 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star. MF has rejoined us. So MF, Sheamus defeating Bronson Reed, 8 minutes and 35 seconds. Pete Dunne gets involved after and lays out Sheamus.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of had that situation that it was one of those moments. So yeah, it was fine for what it was worth. It was as crazy as it could have been. But it is what it is, and I thought they did a really good job. It was a solid story more than anything else, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. And yeah, so we'll wait and see how it plays out. But my goodness, like you said, look, Pete Dunne basically made it abundantly clear he was angry about Sheamus lurching and basically leaving the Brawling Brutes behind. So it kind of is one of those where he thought it went down. So we'll wait and see how it plays out. But at the end of the day, yeah, solid segment. And then as far as Dom goes, dude, I mean, I get it. He's trying as hard as he can to try to make amends with Rhea, but trust me, bro. You know what? I'm gonna say this. Tranquilo, accept it. You gotta relax, bro, because being all up in mommy's business, that's not how you win a girl, bro. She's steaming. She's mad. You gotta let her cool off for a little bit, but being on top of it, that's not gonna, no, Dom. That's not how it's gonna work, but he had to learn that the hard way, and props to Damian Priest by he's kind of like jokingly about the whole thing, because he's like, you see, I warned you, consequences. I told you this whole time, consequences and everything else. But you know what? She it's a good thing that she only threw the vase at him, because it could have been something else. You know that. But anyway, we'll get into that in a little bit, because there was a lot that happened here tonight. But nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
Oh, absolutely, no doubt about it. All right.
Actually, wait. Wasn't that where she ripped him about the 3 months thing? Where she's like, where the hell have you been? And then you've been canoodling with your little girlfriend. Remember that part? Oh,
my goodness.
God damn. I mean, even I was like, dude, yo, that's not good. That was definitely not good. Like, that's it. I mean, you did not. Okay, now that contradicts everything that he was saying, that I'm giving mommy space, I'm giving her this, I'm giving her that. Damian knows the whole truth, because he was saying that Rhea is pissed. So obviously you mucked up, Dom. There's no doubt, there's no way around it. All right, now we can move on.
All right, then we had a backstage moment with Sami Zayn and Ilya Dragunov talking about their Intercontinental Heavyweight title match later tonight. Oh, big main event. And then a really good video package for Gunther. We'll get into that in a little bit. And we have a cutout here. Sonya Deville against Zelina Vega. Sonya Deville wins the match in a minute. an
Why?
even
Why? Why? Why did you have to do Zelina that dirty, man? I mean, come on, bro.
DUD.
I'm not ranting. I'm not ranting. I know I'm not doing it. I could easily go off on this, but I'm not. I'm not. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be nice here.
As you would always say, mind your P's and Q's. So
Yes.
yeah.
And I'm trying to mind it, but my P's and Q's might want to say something I'm gonna regret.
And we don't have that kind of time. So
yeah.
Okay. But I will say this for you. Obviously worst fight of the night. Absolute dud. I'm not going to call it. You can make an argument, ho-hum diva fight, but here's the thing. And this is where I'm going to come to MF's aid here. MF, I think I pretty much have this covered. This was an unnecessary squash loss for Zelina Vega, who was undoubtedly the most overperformer in this ordeal. Beating her felt counterproductive when literally anyone else could have been put in this position. Does that pretty much cover it?
Pretty much.
Okay. So, absolute dud. Worst fight of the night here. So, but we are going to most certainly get into this. The story of an undeserving champion versus a predestined one apparently was not enough for WWE, as Triple H and the creative team added another element: class warfare. Tonight's face-to-face between World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest and King of the Ring Gunther introduced the idea of the Ring General as the privileged competitor, while painting the Archer of Infamy as someone who fought from the streets to the top of professional wrestling. It is a story that can be incredibly effective in the right scenario, but feels as though it was shoehorned into this program unnecessarily. The crowd ate it up and gave the first indication that fans are willing to accept Damian Priest as a babyface, and maybe that alone will prove it was the right direction to take. Until that is the case, this still feels like an unneeded addition to a story that told itself based on what we had already seen to this point. Damian said of Gunther, Gunther said of Damian's reign, "Your reign has been nothing, no prestige, no contributions." He also suggested, "I want to lift that weight off your shoulders, spare you that embarrassment at SummerSlam. Just hand me the title." And then Priest said, "For someone who claims to have so much clarity, it amazes me that you can't see what's going to come right at you." So, and this led into, this is obviously a 2-for-1 segment because it led into a match. Damian Priest in another Be a Man fight. That's the theme of the night tonight. Be a Man. We had a lot of Be a Man fights. The next one featured the World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest squaring off against Braun Strowman, non-title match. And the winner of the match, 8 minutes and 10 seconds, Damian Priest. Yo, I'll tell you what. Braun Strowman is perpetually over with audiences, so to hear the fans in Dayton erupt for Priest's win is a promising development for the world champion as he prepares for, I would say, the most important match of his career right now. The long-term plan is clearly for him to break away from his Judgment Day faction and go it alone as a babyface. This feels like a positive first step and one both he and the creative team can build on. Strowman hit the barricade before the break and stole the knee injury, setting up the second half of the match. And Priest pinning Strowman clean was essential to the success of this segment. He proved he can win by himself, something he has struggled to prove he could do since winning the title. So, 2.5, teetering on 2 3/4 once again. So, MF, Damian and Gunther, they added an unnecessary element with this whole class warfare thing. And then Braun Strowman, or I should say Damian Priest, with a big win over a well-established Braun Strowman in 8-10, 2-for-1.
Yeah, 2-for-1, definitely a well-deserved victory for him. And like we said, the whole time, Damian Priest deserved the opportunity at the title. And, Damian Priest being the World Heavyweight Champion, Damian Priest getting the opportunity, Damian Priest, working as that, like you said, the being the baby face and doing exactly what they needed it to do. And I think they did an incredible job. That's exactly what it needed to be, and it was perfect. It was exactly what it had to look like, and to me, a great victory for him. A great win for Damian Priest, and not only that, but like you said, it put the fans, it puts them squarely that, hey, he's back, and the whole 9 yards. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So, Anthony, this was at least a 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star, and it's all yours.
Yeah, some backstage developments here. Alpha Academy talking about helping out a friend, and Chad Gable came in. He thought, "Oh, you came to your senses. You guys are going to finally help me out here." And they said no. But Chad Gable said he was going to call out Bo Dallas later in the show. Xavier Woods showed up, and Maxine said that Otis and Akira Tozawa will tag with Xavier Woods to go against the Final Testament. So we'll see how that goes. Mm-hmm. And as MF mentioned earlier in the show, they showed the clips of the weekend shows in Mexico. And Michael Cole also acknowledged the debut of Stephanie Vacour. So, I hear you, MF. I hear you. That was a big moment, obviously, for that one, no doubt about it. And and it led into our next match, women's tag team action: Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark against Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. And Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark win the match. I do not have a time of the fall. They didn't give me one. MF, I'll tell you what, I didn't really have any high hopes going into this match, but it ended up being a lot better than it had any right to be.
Yeah, had better. It was better than it had any right to be, but it happened. So, it was a big win. It was a very good victory, no doubt about it. And this was about 3 stars, 3.25. Like you said, they did a good job with it. So there's really nothing more to add. So yeah, Anthony, it's back to you.
All right. Before before I give you my thoughts on this whole thing, let's welcome Michael Bullock into the show. Phenom, come on in. Let's get you caught up, shall we? So, okay. So, bear with me for a minute. I'm looking for a time of the fall on one of the matches because they didn't give me it. But that's okay. I don't mind looking. It's fine. 9:50. 9:50 was the time of that fall. So I'll let you know when we get to it. All right. So with that being said, let's get Michael Bullock caught up here. Right out of the box, Rhea Ripley cutting the promo, interrupted by Dominic, and then interrupted by Liv Morgan on the Titantron there. And the match that we've been wanting for SummerSlam, we're gonna get it at SummerSlam. Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, yeah, this was a good promo. Obviously, yeah, the match that we've been wanting, we finally got. And yeah, and you heard what Rhea said at the end, that she wasn't just going to end the revenge tour. She wasn't just going to take the title. She was going to end her career. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, yeah, you really think that? I think we all expected her to say that, especially with all the shenanigans Liv Morgan has been doing since Rhea Ripley was on the shelf. So all I can say is, Liv, careful what you wish for, because you just might get it, and you could be getting it at SummerSlam. So yeah, and Dom was pleading with for Mommy's forgiveness. And did you really think she was going to accept?
Honestly, no, I didn't think so. I thought she was going to play the mind games with her. I thought she was going to be a chicken bleep heel here, but no, she accepted.
Yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. So but now the question is Rhea going to be focused on winning the women's world title, or is she going to be more focused on beating the holy hell out of Rhea Ripley for all the things she's done while she was on the shelf?
Rhea, if I know Rhea, it's both. She not only wants the title back, but at the same time, she also wants to beat the holy hell out of Liv after what Liv did to her the night after WrestleMania. There's no doubt in my mind.
But she's going to have to make a choice here because
she will have to make a choice. And MF, I want a rebuttal from you.
No, hang on. I'm going to let you two finish, and then I'll give you my thoughts.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Well, because the thing is, I mean, she has to make a choice. Because unfortunately, you can't have both. It's either one or the other.
Can't have it both ways.
You can't have it both ways because if she wants to beat the holy hell out of Liv, then she can kiss her chances of retaining of regaining the women's world title goodbye.
The only way is that if the match comes into like a no DQ, then you get the best of both worlds. Then you can do both. But like you said, Michael Bullock, right now, yeah, it's what do you desire more? Destroying Liv Morgan or winning back your women's world title? I don't know. That
she never lost.
That she never lost. But the thing is, there's too many wild cards, but I'll get into that in a little bit. But it's yours.
Exactly.
Yeah, we still have a little bit of stuff to catch up on. Sheamus versus Big Bronson Reed. Sheamus wins in 8:35.
Yeah, I'll give this about maybe 2.5 stars. I mean, it was a good match here. But what happened afterwards is what
Pete Dunne attacking. Yes.
Yeah, I guess you could pretty much say that Pete Dunne is quote unquote done with Sheamus.
A match between those two in order, no doubt.
Yeah, it has to be. And I don't know. I mean, do you think Pete Dunne's a heel now because of what he did?
It might have been just frustration, It wasn't a full-blown heel turn. All he did was just attack him from behind. He didn't, go on a full-on beatdown or anything. So, we still got a couple more weeks. So let's see where it goes before we can conclude if he's a heel or not.
Yeah, we'll see.
Then we had a cutout. Sonya Deville squashing Zelina Vega in 1 minute. And then from there we had the 2-for-1 deal here. The face to face. Can't really do it because my throat's a little messed up right now, but not too bad.
Face to face.
There you go, Bullock. All right.
That was for you, man.
Yeah. Yes. Appreciate that. Yes. The face to face with Damian Priest and Gunther. And then Damian Priest squared off against Braun Strowman, and Damian Priest won that match in 8 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yeah, another 2.5 star match, but yeah, I mean, an impressive win for Damian Priest here. So yeah, but then afterwards, Gunther did jump him, so giving Damian a little taste of what he could. Of what can you expect at SummerSlam. So, yeah, nothing more to say.
And then Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark squaring off against Kaden Carter and the Katana Chance. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark winning the match 9 minutes and 50 seconds.
I'll give this about maybe somewhere between 2.5 to 3 for the effort here. So, there's really nothing more to say on it, so it's yours.
Yeah, you can give it back to me because MF led off on it, and then it was yours. So, all right. So you're all caught up now, Bullock. I'll take this one for a spin. Sleeper fight of the night. I'm going to give it around 3 to 3.25. I mean, The match was better than expected, and the crowd was into it. But it would have been even better if fans had any reason whatsoever to care about the babyfaces beyond their fun, energetic in-ring performance. So that's my only constructive criticism on that. So, all right, guys, here we go. Adam Pearce, the Raw general manager, brought out Drew McIntyre and talked about how, he wanted and he was on the verge of giving Drew McIntyre what he wanted, a match against CM Punk. But Adam Pearce said, not so fast. Before you do, you need to apologize to the 2 referees that you abused at Money in the Bank. And get this, he acknowledged them both by name. Rod Zapata and the favorite referee of myself and Michael Bullock, you know who it is.
Mr. Danilo and Fabio.
Mr. Danilo and Fabio. And
his Papador.
His Papador. Yes, sir. He mentioned them by name. Rod Zapata and Danilo and Fabio. How about that? And Drew said, and he said to Drew, all you got to do is apologize for what you did to them at Money in the Bank, the post show, and you got your match. And then Drew said no. He said no, and well, he lost his mind again. And Adam Pearce said, "You're not going to do this? Well, guess what? You're still suspended." But then Seth freaking Rollins shows up, and he and McIntyre go at it. Now, so I don't know what else there is to say except Michael Bullock. Whoa, this pretty much went down the way we thought it would. McIntyre losing his mind, refusing to apologize to Rod Zapata and Danilo and Fabio. And because of this, he's still suspended.
You want to talk about blowing an opportunity. I mean, you had the opportunity right on your lap. All you had to do was say those 2 words to Rod Zapata and Danilo and Fabio. I'm sorry. And what did you do? You said no because he was whining and crying how he felt like not just the 2 referees, but other referees have screwed Drew McIntyre out of chances of being the world champion, and how Adam Pearce let it happen under his belt. And then he went as far as to say that Adam Pearce deserved that elbow to the forehead. Yeah. You want to do that? Guess what? You're still suspended. And I hate to use this word from someone that used to own the company, but you know what? In the immoral words of him, you deserve to be screwed. You deserve to be screwed, you Scottish little bitch. I mean, well, here's the thing. Drew McIntyre started this at WrestleMania. All he had to do was, what was the only thing he had to do for it?
All he had to do was walk away and enjoy his World Heavyweight Championship. That's all he had to do. Walk away.
Do that? No.
Because he wanted to rub it in the face of CM Punk. His ego, he got too big for his britches, as MF would say. And he said, hey, look what I got. I got the belt. And he chose to rub it in the face of CM Punk. Did you think that CM Punk was going to take that lying down? Hell no, he wasn't.
So as far as I'm concerned, and I don't give a damn, especially those Scottish wannabes out there in Scotland, if they get offended, if Drew McIntyre gets offended, I don't care. He started all this. So
Drew McIntyre, CM Punk didn't screw Drew McIntyre. Adam Pearce damn sure didn't screw Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre screwed Drew McIntyre, period. End of statement, end of quotation.
To a fault, I do agree. However, CM Punk also perpetrated a lot of the mess that is happening. Drew had his right to say what he had to say. For in my honest opinion, he was at fault for WrestleMania, which I totally agree.
Yes.
But CM Punk screwed Drew McIntyre unfairly when it was in Scotland.
I'll give you that, yes.
And you cannot deny that.
No.
Well, I'm not denying that. I'm just saying Drew McIntyre started all this.
Again,
Wait,
that's a bunch of hearsay. I mean, if you want to go that far and say that, you're fine, and I'll give you that. You could even say it goes all the way back to January at the Royal Rumble when he dislocated the arm or dislocated the shoulder of CM Punk and knocked him out of the action, and then he gloated about that. Then, all right. Then you could say, yes, he was responsible at the very beginning for everything that's been going on. So I get that.
I forgot about that. So yeah. And let's not forget that ridiculous meme that he had with that he buried WrestleMania Dream. So yeah, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. So I mean, in one way, I totally agree with everything that you said, but there's been moments in this rivalry where I'm sorry, but CM Punk deserved the destroyment that he got. That there were moments in this rivalry where Drew McIntyre was justified for beating the shit out of CM Punk.
Especially, well, you better not say that in front of that Chicago crowd, just like when Drew did that in Chicago on that SmackDown, because...
And remember what I said? You think I give a damn? That I offended the Chicago crowd? Like you just not offended the Scotland crowd just now, Michael Bullock.
I don't care. They support him with some of the things he does. But anywho, getting back to this, I think this is long-term storytelling, because I still think we're going to get this match. They're just going to have to find some other way to do this. Or, and another thing I've been hearing, and I don't know if you guys heard the same thing, maybe making a triple threat at SummerSlam. They're just
match with, and who knows, maybe making a #1 contenders match.
I mean, it's possible,
but like I said, we got to wait and see how this all plays out now.
But Bullock, don't forget the scenario that I told you during one of our chats recently. And MF, you're hearing this for the first time. SummerSlam, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, with Seth Rollins as the guest referee.
I've heard that too.
Oh, you have? Okay.
I've heard that.
Yeah. So,
I just don't know how good that would be, because I almost have a bad feeling that could end up as a mess of a match. And remember, there is talk about maybe at Bad Blood that the end game is for CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre locked inside Hell in a Cell. Like, that might be the ultimate...
To commemorate the 27th anniversary
of
the original...
7 years to the day.
Yeah, of the original Hell in a Cell, which was The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. Yes, we all know that.
Yes.
But anywho, I think this was a good segment, and I basically think this is long-term storytelling when it comes to this.
Booking.
So, or booking, like you said. So we'll see how this all plays out. I mean, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk is going to happen at SummerSlam. They're just going to have to find some other way to do this.
2 weeks. We still got 2 Raws left.
Yep.
Exactly.
You gotta do something.
So nothing more to say. So it is yours, Florio. So I still think it's going to happen, but the only question now is how do they do this?
How do they get there? Well, we'll have to find out. Anyways, good segment, yes, but I have to be the man who tells it like it is here. It felt like a placeholder segment and that it did not progress anything in any meaningful way. Things stood exactly as they were before it, and one would assume that next week, maybe we'll see the suspension officially lifted and the match between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre officially announced. That is unless CM Punk is not medically cleared and Seth Rollins gets that spot instead. So, and the big man, and that's really all there is to say on that. Michael Cole noted that McIntyre was all smiles, something he would not have guessed entering the night. Chants of "Say You're Sorry" rained down from the stands in McIntyre's direction. That's an interesting one. That's a new one. And McIntyre made a great point about referees and officials putting their hands on him and trying to restrain him, while CM Punk has been allowed to sit on top of tables and taunt him. So that's really all there is to say on that. So long-term booking, that's what this regime is known for. So we'll see what happens. So MF, quick thought?
Like you said, it was long-term booking. There's really nothing more for us to say. So yeah, it's yours.
All right. All right. And then from there, the latest VHS of the Wyatt Six with an interesting backstory to this because Pat McAfee received that videotape during the Pat McAfee show.
Yep.
And MF, I mean, as we all know, you watch that show religiously. You watch it every day.
I saw this happen live, and I'm like, oh my God. He knew exactly what was going on. At first, he once again tried to go throw Evan Foxy under the bus because Evan Foxy is the guy who normally handles the audio for the show and everything else. And Evan Foxy basically is like, no, it wasn't me because I don't know what it is. Every time this thing glitches from time to time, and there's nothing I can handle with the switchboard. I don't know what's going on. And the thing was, what made this more interesting was this happened live on ESPN. Normally, this doesn't happen on ESPN. Normally, it happens on the third hour, ESPN Plus, and on YouTube. You can watch the YouTube version, unedited, everything else. ESPN, there's a few words they're not allowed to say. They'll mute it out, but whatever. But when this happened, it happened while they had John Heyman, while they were talking about the Home Run Derby. Oh, by the way, we definitely will get into that on TXN Sports World because, my God, that was an awesome Home Run Derby. Probably best one ever.
Amazing.
But at the end of the day,
it was Jeff Passan he was talking to.
Yeah. So Jeff Passan, and you saw it. You lied.
They showed the clip.
Yeah. They showed what went down, and we saw what the video was. And me and Bill McConnell, one of the members of the 2184 group, he predicted that it was going to be Eric Rowan. And he's like, I don't think I'm ready for this one. Guess what?
Oh.
I wasn't ready for it. And this thing, this video goddamn broke my freaking heart, man. Like, this was a gut shot.
Oh.
If there ever was one. He talks about the loss of his brothers. You know who his brothers are. You don't. If you're living under a rock, or if you don't follow professional wrestling, I'll do this quick. He's talking about the original Wyatt family. which was him, Bray Wyatt, and Luke Harper. The two people that he mentions that he lost his brothers were first Luke Harper, and we all know that Luke Harper was really sick. I think he had some kind of cancer, and right before Christmas he passed away. That shocked everybody. Nobody saw that coming. And then Bray, about a couple of years later.
Yeah.
And he talked about how he lost his brothers. And especially after he talked about the second one, you knew he was talking about Bray. And that's why he cried. The minute he broke down in tears, I broke. I'll openly admit it. A couple of tears started coming down my face, and I'm like, oh man. That was a gut shot. And now, once he got that mask, and Anthony, you have that love affair with that sheep mask. I mean, you can get into it.
And you know the one that made me lose my mind the most on this show when 10 years ago when that sheep mask was on John Cena.
Yeah.
I will never forget that. That image has lived in my head rent free for the last 10 years.
Yeah. And you did and Bullock just did what Florio did, what Florio would do.
Yeah, and I freaked out. Yes.
And he freaked out.
In a funny way.
Yeah. So it's a wow for me. Without a doubt, I love that they're doing this one by one. We got to see Bo Dallas. We got to see him and his narration that led him to Uncle Howdy. Now we're starting to see each one being revealed. Eric Rowan tonight. We're putting money on that. Maybe Dexter Lumis might be next. We don't know. We don't know how this is going to play out. We don't know who they're going to do, but we know one by one it's going to get revealed. Or do they reveal Nikki next? We don't know.
Gacy.
There's Joe Gacy, Dexter Lumis. Dexter might be the most interesting one because remember, he hardly ever talks. The only time he ever talked in the years that he's been in WWE was the night that he got married to Indy Hartwell and he just said, I do. We all freaked out. And you remember Dee Woodson was with us that night. We were celebrating with Michael Bullock because he had his first successful wedding in NXT history while she's freaking out saying, Dexter spoke! Dexter spoke!
Oh.
One of the most iconic moments that we've ever had on our show for a freaking Tuesday night, for God's sakes. But anyway, this was the most powerful segment for me because of the depth that they went into, the meaningfulness that it went into, the thoughtfulness, and more importantly, it was kind of Eric Rowan's way to honor his fallen brothers, Luke Harper or Mr. Brody Lee for all you TNA fans, and obviously Bray Wyatt. So, to me, this was one of the best things that I've seen. And props to Pat McAfee and the crew for playing along with it. And props to ESPN for actually airing it live as it happens. Because you also got to give props to the worldwide leader in sports. Because they could have said, we're not going to show this crap, not live. We're not going to help you guys. You guys can do it on ESPN Plus and on YouTube. And then let the fans talk about it on social media. No. ESPN actually let it happen on their show during the 2 hours. That is major props to them. So, yeah, nothing more to say. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, this one really hit home because of, like you said, what Eric Rowan started to talk about losing his brothers, Luke Harper, a.k.a. Brody Lee, and Bray Wyatt, I'm like, I just felt it. I mean, you could just see the emotion come out of him because nobody was close to those two than Eric Rowan. So I love what they're doing with this whole thing, with the Wyatt Six right now. So I'm just enjoying this. So yeah, there's really nothing more for me to say. So it's yours, Florio.
Yes, indeed. I don't know what else there is to say. I mean, the big man expressed raw emotion as he discussed the loss of brothers Brody Lee and Bray Wyatt without naming them, and promised that the Wyatt Six would use their broken hearts to create quote-unquote beautiful art. Very well done, to say the very least. So, so with that being said, we move on now. Oh boy. Okay. Lost my place here, so bear with me for a moment here as we get it back up and running. Yeah, very compelling promo from Rowan. It certainly ranks as the most memorable mic work of his career, and that's all there is to say on that. Main event: Jey Uso versus Dominic Mysterio. Jey Uso wins the match, 9 minutes and 10 seconds. Michael Bullock, nothing left for me to say except yeet.
Yeet!
And did you see Michael Cole and Pat McAfee on that tonight?
Oh my gosh, that is just so freaking awesome.
That's what that's going to be us come August 26th.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 3 stars for me when it comes to this. Yeah, I thought this was a good match, but again, the story continues to be about the whole thing with Liv and Dominic, because Liv comes out and Liv put Dom in that position again, Fletch. Oh, and this time with Rhea being back, I'm like, is this girl freaking nuts?
Well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. First off, Jey Uso kicked Dom, and Dom basically was on top of Rhea. I mean, on top of Liv first. And then she reversed it and got on top. Remember that.
Either way, it's... Yeah, that's... and Rhea came out, and it looked like Jey wanted some of Mommy. So... Yeah, but at the end of the day, Jey Uso got the job done, so there's really nothing more for me except, Florio, as I give it to you, I'll say it again, yeet!
Yeet!
and Dum Dum, you just got yeeted!
Yeah, you sure did. It is both wild and refreshing to see 2 women involved at the heart of the most prominent storyline on Raw. Whether you like the story or not, it is damn refreshing to see Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan's stars shining bright on the flagship show, and more importantly, on the grand stage that is SummerSlam. Solid match here, solid 3. Morgan mouthing "oh bleep" as Ripley made her way to the ring is not only a great visual, but it also puts over the threat of Mommy's wrath. The Guerrero China vibes of this Dominic Rhea story at this point are real, and what awaits Jey Uso at SummerSlam? Surely he will not be left off the card when he is so clearly one of the most popular guys in the company. It still feels like he is weeks away from being reintroduced to the Bloodline story. So, solid 3 for this. So, MF, Jey Uso defeating Dominic Mysterio in 9-10.
Yeah, nah, this is a solid story, to say the very least, and also crazy in an instance too. Once again, I was eating it up with everything that happened, and if you remember, Jey kind of triggered this earlier in the night, because Dom was still trying to reason, still trying to win Rhea over, And the next thing you know, Jay like, hey, if Rhea's single, if she's looking for a man, maybe I'm the one that gets to yeet mommy. I was like, oh, I was like, yo, Jay, no, don't do that now. No, no. And the funny thing was it was really Damian Priest that kind of triggered this. Damian Priest is like, yo, he's trying to make his play on mommy, man. I would not let anybody do that. What are you doing? He's like, make a match. Talk to Pierce. Get that going. Come on, man. You say you care about mommy. This man's trying to steal your mommy away. What are you doing? Damian Priest is you're a sneaky little one, man. You're a sneaky son of a you-know-what. You basically goaded Dom Dom into this fight. And even Rhea's like, what the hell are you doing? What do you mean? You're gonna fight Jey Uso. What are you doing? Then he said something that was really stupid. I'm not gonna reiterate it here, but she almost kicked his ass for it. And
I think she should have for those remarks.
Yeah. I mean,
mommy,
he basically tried to claim her as his property, and that's not gonna work. That does not.
Because the thing is, mommy's pissed off already.
Yeah.
That comment was only gonna make her.
Oh, she got infuriated. She was infuriated with Dom at that moment, and
good thing we're not around Rhea when that happened. If I heard that, I'd be like Snagglepuss and exit stage left.
Oh, dude, and imagine you trying to say those words to your girl. She would beat the living daylights out of you right now. Trust me, Bullock. I know.
Oh, I would never do that.
No, I know you would never do that. But if you were that crazy enough, that crazy enough to say that, and especially to your girl, oh my God. Me and Florio were exiting stage left because we do not want to feel that wrath. So, and Rhea let Dom have it for it. So,
well, that's why I call him Dum Dum, because he does something dumb.
Yeah, and then during the match, everything going down, Liv trying to help Dom trying to win that match. Next thing you know, she gets herself cornered in that situation, and oh boy, oh man, that's all I'm gonna say. I really got nothing. There's really nothing more to add. This was about 2.5 to 3. Bullock, it's yours.
He led off.
Well,
I stand corrected. I apologize.
That's okay.
For something like that, Dum Dum, that's worthy of a no yeet.
Yeah, no yeet for him. Yeah, it was out of bounds.
Yeah. So, Chad Gable calling out Bo Dallas. But then it was a trap. The new Alpha Academy, the Creed brothers, joined Chad Gable in on the beatdown of Bo Dallas, and then that brings out the rest of the Wyatt Six. They clear out. The signs appear to be pointing at a 6-man tag for SummerSlam, with some trio of Wyatt Six competitors battling Chad Gable and the Creeds. There is an argument to be made against sacrificing the heels to the match newcomers, but they will lose nothing in defeat against a seemingly unstoppable force or unbeatable force. More importantly, Gable and the Creeds give the Wyatts the most likely chance of a quality match in their first outing, something that is essential to the success of the faction. This was another quality segment, otherwise, that reintroduced Dallas and gave fans a glimpse of just how difficult it will be to drive the fight out of him. Gable believing he is somehow a super sleuth who figured out who Uncle Howdy is, as if we have not watched 3 weeks of videotapes revealing as much, was hilarious. Yeah, you're a regular Leslie Nielsen and George Kennedy there, Chet. So,
yeah, we had it figured out before you even did.
Yeah. So
don't think so. If you think we're dumb, you're the real one that's dumb, Chad Gable.
Leslie Nielsen and George Kennedy solving the mystery of the Undertaker was better than that. So
and more entertaining.
Oh, absolutely. But
this year from Chad Gable, not entertaining.
Yeah. Laughable.
That is worthy of a no yeet.
No yeet is right. So yeah. Like I said, another quality segment there. So not much more to say. MF Wyatt 6 versus the new Alpha Academy, Chad Gable and the Creeds.
Oh man, Creeds, Gable. You didn't have to poke the bear, but then you had to. Then you did that. Dumb move. If you weren't already in the line of the fire, now you absolutely are in the line of the fire now. You not only are in the fire, you literally jumped into the pan, for heaven's sake. Stupid move on your part, idiotic move on your part. You should have ran away from the fire, not run right to it. That is the worst thing you could have done. And now you did the unthinkable. You absolutely did the unthinkable. You attacked Bo Dallas, and you know what's about to happen. You know you are in deep doo-doo now. So I'm telling you guys, somebody's gonna get their butt kicked for this, and it's gonna end up very badly for Chad Gable and the Creed brothers. Major mess up. Nothing more to say, Bullock. It's yours.
Yeah, you want to talk about playing with fire? Chad Gable and the Creeds did. I mean, tell me, Fletch, are they crazy for wanting to pick a fight with the Wyatt Six?
It's more in one sense, but very idiotic in another. That's the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, that's a Ren and Stimpy, you idiot move on the part of them, because you see what the Wyatt Six are capable of. I mean, when we first saw them, you saw the chaos they caused backstage, especially with what happened with Chad Gable. I mean, come on, guys. You would have thought that Chad Gable would have learned his lesson from when he first ran in with them. Now he's really asking for it. So, yeah, I mean, Gable and the Creeds against 3 members of the Wyatt Six. I just got this bad feeling it's not going to end well for Gable and the Creeds, because you cross this group, nothing good can come out of this. So, it is yours, Florio.
Yep. So, not much more to say on that. So we move on now. After that, next week, Monday Night Raw in Green Bay, Wisconsin, CM Punk will be on the show. Lyra Valkyria, one-on-one with Sonya Deville. And Xavier Woods, Otis, and Akira Tozawa versus The Final Testament, Karrion Kross and AOP, 6-man tag team matchup. Main event of the evening for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, the champion Sami Zayn defending the title against Ilya Dragunov. Unfortunately, it ends in a no contest in roughly 12 minutes because of Braun Breaker. Should we be surprised by this, gentlemen? Absolutely not. MF.
Nope.
So 12 minutes. Yeah. All right. So MF starts it off. 12 minutes, roughly 12 minutes, no contest. Braun Breaker ruins what would have been an instant classic tonight.
3 stars, and it was on the verge of going higher until the fight gets thrown out. It was getting there, guys, and it was getting very, very good. And unfortunately, Braun pulled the rug out from under us. It was a very unfortunate end. But hey, you gotta give credit where credit's due. They did tell us a good story. There was a moment there where we were thinking, "Oh my God, we're gonna have a new Intercontinental Champion." Remember, he hit Sammy with that bomb, that H bomb, dropped him, and I was thinking, "Oh my goodness, maybe hope spot here." But nah. Once they got outside the ring, you kind of saw what was about to happen, and it ended that way. So it was a heck of a match, a heck of a fight. But like you said, 3 stars until the rug got pulled out from under us. So Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, 3 stars for me as well, because, I mean, like you said, this was getting really good until Braun Breaker had to ruin the finish. So, yeah, unfortunately, not the ending that everybody was hoping for, but I don't know about you guys, but I smell something for SummerSlam when it comes to this. I think it's going to be a triple threat match.
Agreed.
Because the thing is, because Ilya Dragunov's going to want a rematch after this. I mean, literally getting screwed out of it. But then Braun Breaker feels like he deserves another shot. So why not make it a triple threat for SummerSlam? Sami Zayn, Braun Breaker, and Ilya Dragunov. Definitely sign me up for it. So it is yours, Florio.
Fight of the night. The match overall was 3.5, but I'm bumping it down to 3 because of the finish. Sami Zayn and Ilya Dragunov were well on their way to a potentially classic main event when Braun Breaker struck, bringing their physical battle to an unsatisfactory disqualification conclusion before standing tall to close out the show. Breaker claimed he would take out both men, and he did that. In the process, he created a scenario where Zayn may ultimately be forced into defending his title against both men at SummerSlam, like Bullock said. If that is the case, there are far worse ways to work all 3 guys onto the card, and beyond that, the match would be damn good, especially if this one was any indication. Zayn and Dragunov beat the hell out of each other and really earned a better finish. But given the story at play, this was the one that made the most sense and gets the story to where it appears it is going. Dragunov is one of the most physical wrestlers on TV right now, regardless of the company. His matches are almost always the hardest hitting of any on the show, and this was no different. And McAfee asked, where does he get this energy from? And Zayn delivered a haluva kick, but Dragunov fell to the floor, preventing a pinfall. So yeah, 3 stars down from what overall was 3.5. Overall review, Bullock, quick thought.
Yeah, I'll give it a... Yeah, I thought this was a good show. I mean, there were some spots I thought for sure that definitely could have been better, so I'll give this an excess of 7.5 when it comes to the show. So it's yours, Florio.
Yeah, about 7.5. The push to SummerSlam on August 3rd is in full blast with Triple H and the creative team putting the pieces in place for that show's top matches and rivalries. Rhea Ripley's return brought with it a huge focus on her rivalry with Liv Morgan and their impending match at the PLE and her relationship with Dominic Mysterio. That will appeal to many and irritate some, but it is clearly the creative focus of the show right now, and rightfully so. We had the intensification of Damian Priest and Gunther's feud, what looked like it may be a creative pivot into Rollins versus McIntyre, and a spotlight on the IC title program. There is a clear focus, which makes these 3-hour episodes of Raw much easier to sit through than they were as late as 2 years ago. Not everything was perfect, and there are still occasionally pacing issues, but this flagship show is so much more enjoyable to watch than it was under the previous regime. 7.5 out of 10. MF, quick thought, and then I'll get into the preview of Slammiversary here.
7.5 to 8 out of 10 is the correct rating. I think they did a very good job throughout the night. Obviously, I'm still in love with the Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio stuff, but we also got some good stuff. Damian Priest with Gunther for the World Heavyweight title. That program's getting good. The Intercontinental program's getting good. Did some good storyline progression as we're heading into SummerSlam. So, I mean, at the end, not bad. So, pretty good. Anthony, it's yours.
All right. And we move on. Special Tony's take here. This upcoming Saturday night, the 20th annual TNA Slammiversary pay-per-view from the Verdun Auditorium in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Sold out. Oh, by the way, guys, 4,000 tickets sold. The biggest TNA attendance I heard in like 10 years. That shows you how well this brand is coming along. There's only 5 matches announced. I don't know. I'm sure there's going to be more matches added during the week. Maybe Thursday night on Impact. So I will address what we have from top to bottom. Masha Slamovich and Alicia Edwards, the Militia, defending the Knockouts Tag Team Championships against the team they won it from at Under Siege back in May, Spitfire, Danny Luna and Jody Threat. Very tough to call, but I would not at all be surprised if the Militia retain the titles here. For the TNA Digital Media Championship and the Canadian International Heavyweight Championship, AJ Francis will defend those titles against PCO. I'm calling for a new champ. I think PCO wins the title. Or wins the titles, rather. Wouldn't surprise me. X Division Championship on the line. Mustafa Ali defending against Montreal's own Speedball Mike Bailey. Very tough to call here. I would not be at all surprised if Mustafa Ali successfully defends, but Mike Bailey, let's not forget Mike Bailey, Montreal boys. So you never know. But right now I got to go with Ali to retain. Knockouts Championship on the line. The champion Jordan Grace defending against Ash by Elegance. Again, another one that could go either way. My gut tells me to go with Jordan to retain, but why do I have this sneaking suspicion that Ash by Elegance is going to steal the title here? I would not at all be surprised if that happens. And then the main event, and a main event that I know we're all going to have a vested interest in, especially Michael Bullock. 6-pack elimination match for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. The champion Moose defending against former TNA Heavyweight Champion and the longest TNA champion in history, the Walking Weapon Josh Alexander, versus another former TNA Heavyweight Champion, Steve Macklin, versus Nick Nemeth, alias Dolph Ziggler, versus TNA original Frankie Kazarian, and last but certainly not least, say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. And there's nothing else. There's nothing left for me to say on this one. You all heard of the expression, strike while the iron is hot, right? There is no doubt in all of our minds that the most over guy right now in wrestling is, in fact, Joe Hendry. And I'm calling for it. And if I'm wrong, whatever. But TNA, you got to strike while the iron is hot. He's way too over. Even if it's a so-so transitional reign, I wouldn't mind. So, in my honest opinion, and I know these guys will agree with me, especially Bullock, the winner and new TNA heavyweight champion, in my opinion, Joe Hendry. I'm calling for Henry to win the belt. Oh boy, what a moment that will be if he does. Like I said, there'll be more. I'm sure there's going to be more matches announced. I don't think it's going to be just 5. So there isn't anything else left for me to say. So that will put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. We will be back with you on Wednesday night at 10:30 or so for over on MF's channel for Ace Fan 95 for Wednesday Night Madness. And of course, you know how we do that. NXT and AEW Dynamite. No show on Thursday. And then Friday night, TXN Sports World We're going to review the home run derby. Oh, what a home run derby tonight. We'll also get into the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. We'll also recap the ESPY Awards. MF will have his latest Big 3 basketball report. And I know MF wants to get into that Euro America thing, that Copa America thing. I know he'll want to address that. And the NBA in-season tournament will be returning with some interesting new rules and new wrinkles. So get into that on Friday. And then Saturday night, Cerebral Smack Talk, Friday night SmackDown, AEW Collision, and that is that. So, and then of course, 1 week from tonight, Ridiculously Raw, where we do it all again. So, and Monday Night Raw review, and then from there, the results of Slammiversary, my thoughts on it, and we'll go from there. So that's it. So until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Madness over on MF's channel, Brace 395. This is Anthony Florio here for Gorilla MF, Michael Fletcher, for the Phenom, Michael Bullock, and of course, as always and forever, in spirit, the first lady of our show, the one and only Twisted Angel Didi Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune Forest style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days. And until Wednesday night, for Wednesday Night Madness, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody. Bye.